in very extraordinary circumstances, a Navi has the right to command Klall Yisroel to break a mitzvah. And the classic example of that is Eliyahu Har HaCarmel. Even though it was a time when there was an Isser Bamos, Klall Yisroel was not allowed to shecht or to bring any oila, any carbon out of the Mishkan, and certainly not in Har HaCarmel. But Eliyahu Hanavi saw fit. He saw that this was the time when this was a way that he would be able to sway Klall Yisroel and convince them of their mistake in their ways, and so Eliyahu Har HaCarmel was mutter. It was right, and he was allowed to do. He was allowed to make a bama. They made a mizbeach that's called a bama, added a mishkan, and be mark of a carbon. What's the makor that you're allowed to be that a mumcha l'rabim, a navi that's established to be somebody that Klall Yisrael already knows to trust? He has that where Klall Yisrael is allowed to trust him to go and do something like Eliyahu Har HaCarmel, do something against the Torah. So it's actually, Rashi brings down two separate sources. And the funny thing is that both of those sources that Rashi brings down in Chumash are both Sifris, which seems to be a stira. What do we need two sources for the same halacha? One of them is in Parshas Shoftim, where the Torah is talking about that you have to bring it to Beis Hamikdash, and it says Hishama lecha pentala elesecha b'chol makom asher terah. This is the isabamus. Watch yourself that you should not bring up karbonis. You should not bring karbonis in any place that you want. But it says b'chol makom asher terah, in any place that you see fit. So Rashi says, this is Parshas Shoftim, Perek Yud Beis, Pasuk Yud Gimel. Rashi says, "B'chol makom asher terah asher yala b'libcha." Asher terah means you see fit, that you find you are interested in bringing a carbon there. But if a Navi tells you to, you can. Kigoyin Eliyahu Har HaCarmel. So Rashi here in Parshas Shoftim clearly says that the makar for Eliyahu Har HaCarmel is a pasuk in Re'eh, B'chol makom asher terah. That's where there's a Issa Bamas, but not by a Navi. However, Rashi brings down a Sifri in Parshas Shoftim, a few parshas over, in Perek Yud Ches. The Rashi is actually Perek Yud Ches, pasuk Chav Beis, and it's going back on a pasuk a few psukim before, where the pasuk says, "Navi b'kirbecha me'achecha kamoini yakim l'cha Hashem Elokecha." The Torah is telling you that there's going to be Moshe Rabbeinu is telling Klall Yisroel that there's going to be a Navi, and it says Elov Tishma'un. So Rashi brings down also a Sifri that you know that he's an accomplished, he's already tzaddik gomer, he's already accepted, and we know for sure that he's okay. Kigoyin Eliyahu Har HaCarmel shehikar bebama b'shas Isser habamas. Kidei ligdas Yisrael, he did it because to fix things up. Lekach nemar elav tishmo, and you should listen to him. So the Netziv and the Meshech Chochma will ask him that what's going on over here? Is the makar from Parshas Re'eh, where it says B'chol makom asher terah, and that's the het of Eliyahu Har HaCarmel? Or is the makar from Elav Tishmon, which Rashi brings down also a Sifri that says that you should that Eliyahu Har HaCarmel is mutter. And so they all say svaros. They say that they all say svaros, which the Meshech Chochma says that maybe for hit the bombers I needed an extra pasuk. Elav Tishmon wasn't enough. The Netziv says a different svara, but it's a little bit shver because in both cases the Sifri and Rashi bring down clearly, they use the example of Eliyahu Har HaCarmel, so they're clearly saying that Eliyahu Har HaCarmel needed this pasuk. Once you have one pasuk that addresses Eliyahu Har HaCarmel, why do I need another one? So I was thinking like this, that it could be we need both psukim, and the reason is because we're going to need one pasuk for the heter for Eliyahu Hanavi himself, that he was able to take part and he was able to bring a carbon on a bama out of the Mishkan. And then we're going to need another pasuk that's going to tell us that Klall Yisroel was able to take part and help Eliyahu Hanavi in this endeavor on Har HaCarmel. So it's going to come out we really needed both psukim. We need the pasuk for Eliyahu Hanavi. We need the pasuk that Eliyahu Hanavi was allowed to shecht on Har HaCarmel, and then we need another pasuk to tell you that Klall Yisroel was allowed to take part. Why? Because in this pasuk of Elav Tishmon, there's two chedushim that come out from the Gemara in Sanhedrin. It's the Gemara in Sanhedrin Daf Pei Tes Amud Beis. And the Gemara, this is the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Pei Tes Amud Beis is the Gemara that's the source of this concept of muchsik l'rabim shani, that somebody that once somebody is accepted and known to be a tzaddik gomer, so then there's a certain leeway that he has. And the lashon of Gemara is like this: the ilai mahachi. Because if you're going to say that there isn't such a concept of a muchsik, Avram b'Har HaMoriah, heichi shmiya leYitzchak. Avram and Har HaMoriah, that he was told by HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he should shecht Yitzchak. How did Yitzchak listen to him? And also, Eliyahu b'Har HaCarmel, heichi samchi alei, v'avdi shchutei chutz. Eliyahu b'Har HaCarmel, how did Klall Yisroel rely on Eliyahu Hanavi and do shchutei chutz with them? So the Maratz Chias, in the back of the Gemara, is medayik from the Gemara, that this concept of mumcha l'rabim, and this concept of muchsik, and this, which explains the Elav Tishmon, is only addressing how Klall Yisroel has a right to listen to a Navi against the Torah. But the Navi himself, if the Eibishter comes over to Avram Avinu and tells him to shecht Yitzchak, to murder Yitzchak, or the Eibishter comes over to Eliyahu Hanavi and tells him to go shecht shchutei chutz, so that he doesn't need Elav Tishmon. The Eibishter told him. That's obvious that he has to listen. Hashem said he should do it. Of course he listens. Elav Tishmon and the concept of muchsiklon, that we listen to him, is only by for Klall Yisroel to go ahead and believe the Navi that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him to go to do something against the Torah. So Avram Avinu was good. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Avram Avinu to shecht Yitzchak. Avram Avinu was fine. Of course he has to shecht Yitzchak. Yitzchak was only allowed to listen to Avram Avinu because he's a muchsiklon. That's the pasuk of Elav Tishmon. And the same is with Eliyahu Hanavi. That Eliyahu Hanavi, the fact that he knew that it was right to shecht chutz on Har HaCarmel, that's fine. He was able to do it. We'll see soon that he didn't have a nevuah on that. But the fact that he knew, that's one step. There's another step of Elav Tishmon where Klall Yisroel listens to the Navi. Klall Yisroel listens to the Navi because of Elav Tishmon once he's a muchsik l'rabim. So that's one chiddush that Elav Tishmon tells us, that it's not discussing the Navi himself. It's discussing how Klall Yisroel has a right to listen and trust the Navi once he's established. But there's another chiddush that comes out from that sugya, from Tosfos. That if you go through Tosfos is pretty clear, and Tosfos assumes that Pashtus, there was no nevuah. Eliyahu Hanavi never had a nevuah to go and shecht b'Har HaCarmel. It was never a nevuah. And still, Elav Tishmon, which seemingly is in the parsha of nevuah and Parshas Shoftim, is still telling Klall Yisroel that if this person's a Navi, and he knows, and he decides that this is right for whatever reason, once he's muchsik l'rabim, you should listen to him. That's how Tosfos goes. That's how Tosfos. The second teretz is clear, and the first teretz he assumed that way. But Tosfos definitely assumes that Eliyahu Tishmon could be telling Klal Yisroel that you have to listen to a Navi, even though we're not discussing a Navu now. We're discussing either a communal decision, Lemigdal Milsa, or we're discussing a pasuk or a drasha, whatever it is. Once he's muchzik l'rabim as a trusted Navi, once we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu trusts him with the Dvar Hashem, and he's trusted with Nevuah, then he could be trusted for whatever it is. That's what we see from Tosfos. So once we have those two concepts, that we know that Eliyahu Tishmon is not referring to the Navi himself, the one that has the one that for his own actions. Eliyahu Tishmon is addressing Klal Yisroel, listening to him, and we know that Eliyahu Tishmon is not necessarily only addressing a nevuah, so it's very good. The pasuk in Re'eh of B'chol Makam Asher Tira was telling Eliyahu Hanavi, you're allowed to go shecht Har HaCarmel, you yourself, because B'chol Makam Asher Tira. B'chol Makam Asher Tira tells us that only if you want to, only if Klal is telling everyone in Klal Yisrael, you can't go shecht in any place you want, just any place you want. But a Navi, B'chol Makam Asher, a Navi, if Eliyahu himself feels that this is the right place, so then Eliyahu Hanavi has a right to do it. But only Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi, because he feels that way, he feels it's right, he's allowed to do it. And he's allowed to break the Torah, B'chol Makam Asher Tira. But how do we know that we're allowed to trust him? How do we know that we're allowed to trust the Navi and to take his judgment and to trust his judgment and go against the Torah, the Isser Shchutei Chutz? That's where Eliyahu Tishmon comes in. Eliyahu Tishmon tells Klal Yisrael that you could go and listen, and that's Mamish the Gemara says, Eliyahu Har HaCarmel hechi samchi alei v'avdei shchutei chutz. How do we know that how was Klal Yisrael trust Eliyahu Hanavi? How were they samech and rely on Eliyahu Hanavi v'avdei shchutei chutz? Even though in the psukim of Eliyahu Hanavi, by Eliyahu Har HaCarmel, it's mashma that Eliyahu himself shechted, but that's the Gemara. So it comes as B'chol, not as Tira. The Sifri that Rashi brings down in both places, in Parshas Shoftim and Parshas Shoftim, are both referring to Eliyahu Har HaCarmel. Both of them are needed. One is referring to, in Re'eh, is referring to the source that Eliyahu Hanavi was able to do it himself, and in Shoftim is referring to how Klal Yisrael, how did Klal Yisrael know that they could pitch in. In Re'eh it says B'chol Makam Asher Tira, which is referring to is a heta to go is a heta for a Navi to go to shecht Lemigdal Milsa, and in Shoftim is Eliyahu Tishmon that's only talking to those that are listening to the Navi. There is a third pasuk in Parshas Vayishlach, which Tosfos in Sanhedrin also brings down. Back in Bereshis, Goyu Kal Goyim Yemimecha, and over there Rashi also brings down that medrash. But that Rashi, it's not a Sifri, and Rashi only brings it down as a Yeshayimim. So that one we could say is a machlokes, and that medrash doesn't necessarily have to. It doesn't have to be the source like the other two. However, the other two, the one in Re'eh and Shoftim, are both Sifris, both of them brought down in the Sifri without any cholkim, and Rashi brings them both down without any cholkim. It seems that Rashi wants them to shtem, and they take a shtem. One is referring to Eliyahu himself, how he knew he could do it, and one is referring to Klal Yisrael, how they knew that they could listen to Eliyahu.